It's Joe with BFF, and I'm doing an evening stream of the Banner Saga. I was playing Nino Kuni for my school stream thing, but I'm gonna be completely honest, that game was not fitting what I wanted for my paper. So I instead, oh man, there's a board game for Banner Saga, and oh, the soundtrack that I want to get. So I decided to do Banner Saga because a lot of literature, like early English literature, or not early English, but a lot of early fantasy literature is incredibly heavily pulling from Norse mythology, which the Banner Saga totally is too. So I'm going to play 5 hours of this game, not tonight, of course, but over the next day or two. I'm going to do 5 hours of this game as part of my paper's writing requirements. So let's go ahead and get started. Story of the Banner Saga changes based on the choices you make. You will occasionally switch between lead characters, witnessing the story unfold from different perspectives. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survive through a tenacious alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped: the sun. See, apparently it's never nighttime. And if that's not something to signify the end of days, I don't know what is.
Að sjá dreggjana á ferli meðal. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds.
Hey, Kimber.
We have
Welcome.
been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
This is called the Banner Saga. It is a fantasy RPG from a small studio a while back. And the best way I can describe it is Norse mythology Oregon Trail. Plus, like, you know, like medieval fantasy tactical combat. Yeah, I love the art style in this game. Music's really good. Characters are fun. Fun is not the right word. Everything's pretty depressing in this game, but it's supposed to be. It's Norse mythology at the end of the world. You've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking for a tougher fight than they bargained for. Use R to span around the surroundings. Zoom in and out with L2 or R2. Yeah, I'm going to stay zoomed in. Press X to continue. The portraits are the order of turn initiative, so bottom left corner, you see the guy says shield banger, little blue arrow poking on his head. That's the order people are going to be moving. Characters form more tiles than others. Use L to move here. Totally will. Enemies red appear in the range. Boom! Dead. That guy's like, oh no. I'm gonna kind of breeze through this because combat's actually relatively simple, even though there's a lot of depth to what you can do. The actual gameplay combat is pretty simple to utilize. Down. Renown is like your currency. You spend it to level up and spend it to get equipment.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his lust. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
So, people are going crazy. That lord is about to get deposed or usurped or unseated or something along those lines. And my giant dudes showed up and were like, nah man, that ain't me. Approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall, he cuts to the chase. Eirik, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Uben, isn't it? Yeah, I can't keep that up. It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. It's been worse. We've got a lot of irons in the fire. What does he want exactly? Scathelings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered everywhere after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. Was hoping you join me in the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Through Odd, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. Skeptical chief let out an hour ago. Had tell me of the rat. Randy is wrestling crawled back into. Nobody's gonna try and kill you this time. They don't talk to me. Odd sweats visibly, fumbling from some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everyone thinks you're getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food for money, yeah? You toss a sliver of silver on the table. Both men look at you with surprise. Hod gestures meekly to a variety of junk from his stall. Take whatever you like. The only thing I like is the name of a place. Nobleman, up by the east wall, but that was months ago last I know. Had skulks away, waving Eric's hand, with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until he blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. We done here? Wearing green back at that hall? No, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? Now you seem more unreliable at best. Blind dog wouldn't trust had. Scaffolding, looking at their wounds. Mead hall. Find him, I'll meet you there. Remember as a promise, double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. You arrive in front, what must be noblemen. A few minutes later, Eric appears, weather-beaten man, introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? Wide-eyed, the drunken scaffoldings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. So yeah, combat is relatively simple. It's all turn-based, but it's instead of having to worry about like fast turns and stuff, you kind of focus more on you focus more on each person takes a turn type of thing. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Excuse me. That's not good. There we go. Zoomed in one more so you can kind of see the animation up close. When you lower their health, it also affects their actual strength. So let's see if I can. Sweet. One more down. Now he's dropped one of my guys. That's not good. But that's okay. I'm not playing on like the super difficult setting, so I don't have to worry as much about like losing people permanently. It's getting closer and closer to being done with this fight. It's taking its time. Got it. Little banner saga. There, gods be damned. Gotta wash off all this blood. Guys looking at the hall's window onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails, bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Wagner. Next. For the Varl kinships, flag looks important. Yeah, important guess. See what I deal with all day long. All tense, or makes sense. Your royal guests arrived. Me, the governor, to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? If you happen to stall our guests down by the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Volgerd hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses a barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug. And greet the new arrivals. Wagner. From Aurora steps onto the docks. Remind you recall a much younger version rampaging the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, or if there is, Wagner must be Hakan. Must there? I like the way they do the camera movement to focus on whoever's talking, and the subtle movement of like the wind blowing their hair or shifting their axe. It's a nice little touch. And lingering death in Grofheim. Speaking of, since you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberrang, in fact. And glad for it. The King's Whelp. Making alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time, says Hakan. Almost forgotten around Hakan. Then you're going to Grofheim. I have a distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and we're heading that way myself. Should we caravan? We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is that the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakan, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading to meet the governor. Host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Weariness suddenly settles in as you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it's been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakan, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. So should I go speak to Hakan first, or the prince? What do you think, Kimber? Or whoever else is watching as well? Because I see I have 2 viewers, but I don't know who that second viewer is. Prince? Oh, hey, Mormo. Find the prince at the inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Luden. Woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Luden. So this is the prince of the king of humans. You're with Wagner? I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Luden looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I wanted just to introduce myself. Oh, territories, a true pleasure. Yes. An awkwardness hangs in the air like a thick fog. Take your opportunity to depart. He's kind of a jerk. But I can still go talk to Hakon. Maybe it'll be a different conversation with Hakon this time. Scrivener! You find Hakon in the mead house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl. Barely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Wagner's the one who agreed to pass up the drink. Wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I come to rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? Nice. Full bodies, add a few more. Followed by the next Yox fart. I imagine a Yox is like a bull type animal. You start trying. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink with the mead, the house becomes overbearing, and step back into the cool air outside. Alright. I think the only place to go is the Great Hall. At dawn, you're welcomed by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell when the sun never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised. And to your mild surprise, you wonder if Eirik has anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon and load it with supply, or load down the gates. Wagner is already there. Later, Luden and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Yeah, it's definitely got that old, like, 70s animation vibe to it. Moger and join the others. So my caravan is setting out, and occasionally events will happen. So yeah, this game is a lot like a Norse mythology Oregon Trail. Morale has declined because, you know, we're tired. The scenery is beautiful though. It's like artwork practically. Caravan stops for a day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open a mead cask. From our garrison friend, or gracious friend, with the governor of Strom. Hours pass with gracious laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. I'll toast to Wagner. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Varl. The others join in. Luden's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually, you sit down beside Wagner. Chat with Wagner. Thanks for the speech, slurs Wagner. I love Ralph Bakshi's work. Thanks to Moger. Damn governor would never shut up. The history of his entire family? He tried, then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, it turns out. Hey Randall, thanks for joining, man. I'm playing the Banner Saga. And to you, gods is not joy in politics. Speaking of what happens after the business with Luden, hopefully the boy goes back to Aberrang on his own, and I take some frustration out on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakan. Yeah, it's really beautiful stuff. Oh my gosh, I can even move the camera around in the conversation scenes. I never knew that. That's so cool. Ha, don't you miss the fight, Ubin? And replying, Wagner slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing and Dredge, but this... Pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be warriors would follow you for what you'd done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm the next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Farrell. Always been muddy, Wagner. Wagner stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. Alright. You rise groggily in the campsite casualty of merriment. Moger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Luden stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Wagner. You're needed. Ah, Luden, it's always a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long till Grofheim? Huh, we're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you the map. Alright, so world map. Use R to pan around, L2 and R2 to zoom in and zoom out. Portrait icon where your caravan is in the world. You can use L and X. Or selecting location you get some information about. So yeah, I can look around, hit X to hit info. The Brataback Peaks. The first of our warriors trudged north to discover new lands. The Brataback Peaks were brought to the edge of the world, etc., etc. So yeah, lots of cool lore. Zoom out, look at the whole map, all sorts of stuff. Hron. Long snowfields, tall mountains, and sparse woods of Hron used to be the gathering place for Dredge during the Second Great War. As the Varl pushed them ever northward, they took the land and settled it themselves, preferring cold expanses over the warm, busier lands of men to the south. Now the territory is almost entirely Varl. So, anywho, so that's Strand, where I just left. This is, I believe, the road I'm following, which will lead to Ironhoft? No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Where's Grofheim? It's a beautiful map. I would have a map of this on my wall. It's the town of Skoger. You too, Mormo. Thanks for jumping in, man, and I hope the rest of your week goes good, now that your adulting is out of the way. Alright, not important. We head north and east and past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand, going to be a long march. Should have a drink last... You should have had a drink last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Scaramstead? What's the point of marching? Stone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skirmstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge. Prince, dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier than you. More days with the boy old friend. You're looking for a tall cliff to leap off of, too. He's got a shorter wick than Hakan. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Alright, so I wonder if this is when I can actually start doing stuff like leveling up my characters. Camp. You can manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp, your town, in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip them in the hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, only to rest when necessary. Training tent. Training tent will let you do training things. He is injured. Let's promote him. How much is it going to cost? Only 5? We're going to promote. Alright. So I have 2 points to spend. Let's improve his... Let's improve his will. Confirmed. Alright. I don't have any equipment to do anyway. You do training or I can do rest, but we're going to go ahead and head on out.
Wedderfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
So when you say you work nights, is it that you work like late night, overnight kind of nights, or are you doing like just like evening work? By Harborg, that's a lot of Varl for some missing cattle. What? A couple days back, we sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. Where have the cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boy's seen men up in the hills carrying them away. Don't know how many men would hoist a whole cow by himself. Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Scathelings out there, maybe. Borrow for them. From the governor has told me I'm going to take a look around, camp it, set it up. See how few you got. Hundreds of Varl, are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. Thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple of hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. What's that? Where's Luden? It's faint. Sounds like fighting and something else. Hakan takes off on a run. Oh no! And Lude's down. But here come all my freaking Varl. Alright, Hakan. Let's show him who's boss. Boom! So these are the notoriously dangerous dredge. scourges of the north and monsters to behold. That's cool. Ow. That's not good. Yeah. Gunner's down. That's okay though. I'll make do. Yeah. I remember when this game got kickstarted and I was just super impressed with how it looked. Oh no! Actually, so when he does that, we'll see what happens here in a second, because I'm going to take out these smaller threats. He finished his action. Wonder what's going to happen. Oh look, another one has shown up. Yeah, so when they do that action, it summons more to the screen, and while that can be risky, it can also yield better rewards. So, you know. Oh yeah, I don't know how much longer I'll be playing tonight, Kimber, but I will be doing this for the next couple of days as well. So I'll be here. Thank you for coming in, Kimber. Self-killed looting, what are you doing? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. Ever seen a Dredger 4 boy? Kind of idiot. Break their armor first. Where'd they come from? I didn't even see them, they were just there. So Wagner's dead. The guy with the sword and or shield and mace. Now we're introduced to our other set of characters, who are arguably more of the main characters of the story. This Strider looking dude. And his daughter, Alette. Where did that thing come from? Stay close. Yeah, he looks very Keanu. One second, folks. His name is Rook. And he is both an archer and a melee fighter, so... Dang it. Dredge are definitely a terrifying presence. Massive armored monsters that seem to have no emotion or concept of anything. What was that, a dredge? Well, that looks calm. But you can tell her heart is about to beat right out of her chest. It was. Let me see, are you hurt? God, he does look like Keanu. No, I'm fine. Or I'll be fine. The dredge attacked your cart. The ox bolted. It spilled most of your supplies. You could see more dark figures moving through the trees when you glanced in that direction. All that food. That's the last we're going to get before the winter. What do? Don't run. Let me think. Forget the supplies, let's head back to Skoger. If we hurry, we can gather them before the dredge appear. Do you think you can handle more of them? What would Keanu do? No, Dad, I mean, we're already lucky to be alive. I know, it's okay, let's get back to Skoger. Ah, I should have done the hurry. Oh well. Supplies represented food and other goods used to keep everyone alive and on the road. When supplies are gone, people will start to die of starvation. The more people are in the caravan, the faster supplies will diminish. You see how many days of supplies you have left. The travel display at the top right of the top of the screen. Most towns will supplies sell as well as a few items.
I never expected to see the dredge with my own eyes. What happened in the north? Already we see more between the trees as we approach our home, and Alette grips my hand tight. We must find Ivor.
Ivor. The enormous Varl in question towers over the men in the training field. He squints as you approach. Already back, Huntmaster? Thought you'd be tomorrow. Dredge everywhere. Dredge? How do they get through the Greyhorn? Sit by open through the fort. Fighters have already stopped sparring. They gather around. Oh, that's cool. They had the actual, like, as bad as it sounds. Egil, take Alette to the Great Hall. Tell the chieftain what's happening. The rest of you gather up as many as you can. Come on, Alette. I want to help. Let's see, 1 second. Why not invite some goats to join us too? You're asking for dead kids. I love the different layers. And you can also see Dredge in the foreground. Here and there. Such detail put into this game. Sure enough, Dredge are gathering in number. You hear misplaced laughter nearby. Past a pile of corpses, a man is single-handedly holding back 4 Dredge with a battered spear. Behind you, Trigville, shouts Ivor, who shoots a dour look. Trigville is known for being a madman. At least he's a sword who can hold a spear in the right direction. He smiles a mile wide, reveals when he realizes you're going to have to fight your way out of this. Turn order. Oh, so I can set up my own turn order too. This is fine for me. No one's ready to level. Trigvi. However it's pronounced. I don't want to visit this forest right now though, Randall. It's a beautiful forest, but it's filled with Dredge. They're freaking bad. Yeah. Ivor is no joke. Activate Stonewall, give him some extra defense. clink down his armor a little bit. That way when other people get their turns, it won't be so bad. Of course, Ivor can't do anything. That's fine. Big boy can move here. We'll at least block Alette. Oh, nice. Look at all that resistance. Move here when Ivor does get a turn. V is also pretty powerful. He's a madman with a spear. Man, when Ivor gets his turn to finally act, he's going to do so much damage. Because I've been piercing down this dredge's armor. Boom! There we go. See if he gets hit for some. Damage to his armor. This will probably be my last fight for the evening. I played for almost an hour for tonight, and apparently we have a storm moving in. So, well, now that his armor is low enough, she can deal a final blow, and she will, because it's the only way to level up in this game is to actually take out enemies. Only one more left to go, and then they'll be all taken down. Boom! Victory. Combat can be unforgiving. Don't hesitate to change the difficulty of the battle if it leaves you frustrated. Or if you find yourself meeting a tougher challenge, use the options menu to change difficulty. Don't worry, you can change difficulty at any time, and it has no effect on the story or choices you make. I considered changing the difficulty to like one step easier, because I don't think people can become injured and reduced in strength for continuing fights if they get dropped. And I'm not very good at video games. I don't know if you guys can't tell. You take stock of your handiwork. Think I'll stick with you, lad, says Trigvi. Unless you've got other ideas. Ivor grunts something non-committal. Alright. A black horde forming at the tree line. Enough of this, says Ivor, glancing over his shoulder. We're going back, then adds to Rook. I'm doing more doing one more check of the houses around here. See if you can find anyone. Second nature, you knock an arrow. A lead is standing directly between you and the dredge, making the shot perilous at best. Jeez, off by a few inches. Stop thinking and shoot the dredge. You let go. A second passes like an eternity. The arrow bounces off the dread's face, inches away from what you think is an eye. It recoils and turns upon Alette again. Irgil rushes to her side. Ivor throws himself between them, catching the mace on his shield, and returns the favor, crushing the dredge's head with his shield point. When the dust settles, you can see that everyone is all right. Let's get out of here, says Ivor, as he goes back the last few hours, houses nearby. Rook, see if you can find any more survivors and meet me at the hall. Market. Oh, you know, you can buy things. Alright, so let's look at the items. Metal, that's +1 strength, +2 drawing aggro, 3% dodge, strength attacks. I can't afford these, they're way too expensive. Attacks never deflected, 2 armor per turn. That would be so good, but unfortunately, we're going to need supplies. And I think people aren't enough to where they can level yet, because everyone's got like 1 kill. Yep, everyone's got like 1 kill, so no one can level yet. Ooh, I do have an item. I have to go back to heroes real quick. Alette's bracelet, +1 armor, +1 strength, +1 willpower. Totally. It's Alette's after all. Alright, before I continue the story, I think I'm going to go ahead and save and quit, and I'll pick this up tomorrow at some point, maybe tomorrow evening. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Thank you for coming in for this stream of the Banner Saga. I feel much better about doing this than Ni no Kuni, though I enjoyed that game. Still, enjoying Banner Saga a lot more. Thank you for coming in, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.